Paul Mooney changed my life, not just as a comedian, but as a human being. Like first time I saw Paul Mooney perform was in Bamboozled, because he played, I think, the comedian Junebug in Spike Lee's Bamboozled, and he had a joke in there, which, for obvious reasons, after I tell it, I'm paraphrasing the joke. It's not how he said it. He said, "I say the N-word 100 times every morning. It keeps my teeth white." And again, paraphrasing, that's not how he obviously said it. And I remember seeing Mooney, and he stood up more than anything else in that movie. The movie was great, but seeing Mooney just was like, you can say these things and there are people laughing, and you're allowed to make people uncomfortable and make people laugh. And I was like 19 at the time. And I saw Mooney perform in Washington, D.C., I think the next summer. I was on an internship. I saw him at the D.C. Improv do 2.5 hours, and he did that joke with a bunch of other jokes. And I remember just the discomfort he created amongst the white folks in the crowd, and some brown folks too who had chosen their side, and in the inevitable race war. And I just remember people walking out on his show within the first. Some people, because it had been 2.5 hours, but like some, it's like within the first 20 minutes leaving. This isn't for me. And I remember it didn't matter to him, and how just comfortable he was with himself, and knowing that what he was saying was important to him and was going to make the people he wanted to laugh. And that was it. And I didn't know you could do that, because at that time I was doing a lot of impressions of my parents, who are Indian, of my adopted white parents, which I do to this day. But I remember just being, I just wanted to make people laugh so much, and I really didn't have a strong perspective. And I was a kid, and I didn't know anything. And I remember 9/11 happening, and just being a different person, being politicized, and wanting to say something, and being too afraid to, because the idea of silence was the scariest thing in the world, of people not laughing. And I didn't even do a good Indian impression. I was doing kind of an impression of Apu to be my parents, which is really Hank Azaria's impression of an Indian person, which is really a Peter Sellers impression of it. So the whole thing was layered bullshit. And to be able to see somebody write really strong, structurally strong jokes. Like Paul Mooney is a joke writer. And that joke, it's just so short. Like, it's such a short joke, and it's like this idea of like, it's not our word. Like, that was a white word that was used to call us. And so the idea of it makes my teeth white, like, oh my God, like he's owning that word. And, I don't have a parallel experience as an Indian American. I don't have that parallel experience. But I think the knowledge that he was sharing his truth about racism and the experiences that he's had, and the idea that there were people laughing that had similar experiences, and that there were people not laughing who felt uncomfortable and couldn't relate, and then had to leave because they couldn't stand it. It was like, wow, it's a protest, it's a rally, and it's a show, and it's all those things, and all those things are okay at once. So that joke is my joke. So, yeah.